Welcome back to the Analog Dungeon. Here's part 2 of Horror on the Hill. Well, there's a big tangled garden that is also taking up a corner of this place. It says the garden is tangled in thorny mass of brambles, virtually impenetrable by humans. Many types of plants have overrun each other here. There are some areas around this giant mass of tangle that have been carved into holes for goblins to crawl through. Behind each pile of brush lurk 3 goblins waiting to ambush the party as they approach the main door to the temple, which is opposite this side of the brambles across a bit of a clearing. So this is kind of a, come in, crawl in, sit around, and wait. And if something bad is coming in, they're prepared to jump them. The goblins are armed. There's 9 of them total because there's 3 different hiding areas. They're armed with short swords and shields. One of them, which is the highest hit point of the group, carries a +1 shield.
Okay.
So the leaders of the defense against this place, like the ones waiting to ambush you, have a magical shield. That's pretty good planning in my part. I think that's not bad.
Well, it is, but my first thought was, why don't they have bows? Because to me, you crawl
shooting
in the,
out of them
you
bow.
crawl,
God.
You crawl in the brambles because you're a little gobbo.
Yeah,
you get yourself all situated, and then the bad guys come, and you just shoot arrows from them as they try to hack through the brambles to get to you.
Or
then, of course, you get
or they
fireballed,
all
but
died
still.
to 1 torch.
Or that's fair.
I'm gonna burn that privet out. I am going to 100% smoke those goblins if they decide to crawl inside there. It's like, okay, thief, go in and get them. It's like, are you absolutely insane? And he's just pouring kerosene at the base of everything. I spent a summer clearing this crap. I am not going in there. That is one job for my childhood I will never do again.
Oh God, clearing out, especially like the gnarly stuff, the like invasive species that have spikes that come out of their roots. Ugh.
So by now you've kind of like taken care of most of this exterior area. You might have been attacked by the goblins. You might have been attacked by the skeletons. There are several different ways to enter this monastery. And I was kvetching earlier about how the numbers on this map are laid out. It's a personal beef I have with this. The main entrance is not the first number for when you go into this, and that's part of what is like enraging me.
Yeah. So is the first entrance like position wise number 1 at least?
No, it's like the bottom right hand corner. There are doors on a side of the building that go into the infantry barracks, and it's like that's the first numbered room for this. And the main entrance is like halfway down the list. And as as someone who would make a map like this, I'm just looking at it like, why?
Right. The person that drew this map put the numbers on this map. That's every time I've encountered that, the person who hadn't read it, who hadn't done anything, it was just, they said there are 4 entrances to this. There's one here, one here, one here, one here. Yep. The person drew the map and went entrance 1, entrance 2, entrance 3, entrance 4. And then the editors went back behind them and put them in the order. And that's how you get all of these damn maps,
right?
With the numbering that makes no damn sense.
To be fair, this is on the south side of the temple. There are 4 doors along the south side of this monastery, and it's not the quote unquote main entrance that like leads into the main sanctuary. Sure. But it is the side that has the most doors, and I guess that makes sense.
I'm
going to be pedantically just, annoyed by it.
I love that.
So if you are entering from the south, you are most likely going to go through some of these doors. There is an initiate's barracks that has a whole bunch of wooden bunks in here that were once used by monks at this monastery. There's a dining hall that has old, ruined benches and tables that are covered with a yellow mold. There is a special note in here. The mold is harmless. Just in case you got back recently from the from the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl.
Yeah, that's right. Just in case you were dealing with real yellow mold, which
Yep.
you don't
Dungeon
want
mold
to
is
deal
a
with.
dangerous ass thing.
Yeah. Just turn around and
There's
walk the other way.
Yep. There's another initiate's barracks, more bunks here. And if you kind of come in through this way here, you could wind up on either the monastery kitchen, which is off of the main kind of eating area, or the monastic library. So this is more like the living quarters and area of this monastery. If you come in from the south and you go up into the kitchens, you're going to run into a bunch of giant rats that are in and around, using this place as a lair inside the shattered oven, crawling around in the broken pottery. There's a whole big pile of garbage that has two giant rats sitting on top of it when you enter. And as you get into this room, because they see you and start squeaking, 8 other rats will join you for a total of 10 rats in this room.
Are any of these wearing a fancy necklace?
Or maybe hiding inside a chef's hat waiting to ratatouille someone?
Yes.
No, none of them.
Oh God, having a giant rat hiding in a hat to jump out and that's got to go into a D&D game.
Yeah. So the rats have been used the kitchen as a lair. Most of their stuff that they, lair in here have been stored in the garbage pile. So players that actually dig through the crap in this pile and spend some time doing so will find 3 gems worth 60, 40, and 30 gold. A smattering of gold, 7 gold, 12 silver, 2 platinum pieces, which are pretty rare, and a +2 arrow, a singular +2 arrow.
That singular +2 arrow will be saving somebody's bacon
at some
point in the future. Or it will never be used.
No,
it's either one or the other. There's no in between.
It's held just carefully inside that cape or tunic. Like, no, do I dare use my holdout arrow?
Oh yeah.
So the monastic library is also off of this wing. The walls of the chamber are lined with debris-laden shelves, and in the center of the floor is a large pile of garbage. Like a lot of, places, the monks here would have a large amount of books that have been now piled to the center of the room and have crumbled and rotted and decayed. No rats are in here. There is nothing of value hidden in the pile. On a shelf at the end of the room, opposite the door, hidden beneath tattered works of literature, players will find an ivory tube. The tube itself is worth 50 gold. You have to be carefully examining the shelves to be able to have a chance of finding it. Unscrewing the cap on this will reveal a well-preserved piece of parchment with clerical scrolls. And on this scroll are Cure Light Wounds, a pair of those spells, Detect Magic, and Bless.
Wow, those are the ones you want. I would say of your level 1 cleric spells,
those are heaters.
Hard to beat those. Those are nice. Very nice.
Even modern day Bless. I remember I was playing a cleric in a campaign recently, and I decided to really play the numbers, and I was blessing the party and baning the enemy, and those were the main spells I was using in most combat. And every single time that misses were happening from Bane, I was like, see that? That's one less healing spell. That's anti-healing is what that is. I'm saving healing from happening by preventing the damage. And someone else in the party who's like, I gotta learn how to cleric. That's awesome.
Pro tip, if you want your DM to hate you, use both Bless and Bane.
Yep. So there is another door on this library that leads into the Garden of the Fountain. It says, no roof blocks the sun's rays from this part of the monastery, where the atmosphere is peaceful and quiet. Around the perimeter of this restful spot, placed in an orderly fashion, are 9 large birch trees. The ground is covered by a thick cushion of grass and flowers. In the center is a pool at whose south end a fountain splashes into a shallow bowl. From a spout in the bowl, the water flows back to the long pool. The water is cool and crystal clear. The stones lining the sides and bottom of the pool are glistening white, and reflections of the birch leaves dance in the shimmering surface. This is the kind of place that like in like old school JRPGs or in early Legend of Zelda, you like make your way through the hidden dark forest and suddenly come across this like beautiful ruined little place that's just a little nice tucked in spot. This is like it's got some stuff growing in it, a little overgrown, but everything else around it is perfectly pristine and ready to be just like of use to people who come in here with good intentions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very, very nice, very serene, very calm. Exactly what you want to have in a exactly what you would expect in a haunted monastery, just old monastery.
Like it doesn't quite match with the very nasty looking creatures that were guarding the tomb, but maybe that's the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It says that the garden was a place of great sacredness to the monastery's original inhabitants. As part of their rite of initiation, every monk would be allowed to take a drink from the fountain. They would then be judged according to the effects the water had on them. The fountain is magical, and characters may drink from it. And this is also where maybe some of the pristine nature of this is a little deceiving, because the fountain might do some stuff that's not so great. So Jeremy, we've got.
Oh, is this a random?
Oh, it's got a random effect. It sure
does.
We
love that. We love that. It makes no sense if you think about it.
Yep.
But
Jeremy,
damn it, we love it.
We've got 10 players in our party. We have rolled in the giant 15-passenger van for this. Grab an 8-sided die. Tell me the first person that's up and takes a swig of that fountain. What are they going to have happen to them?
8-sided die.
8 different effects, several different things that can happen, and some of them are doozies, let me tell you.
That's okay. Now he needs a new pair of shoes. I rolled an 8.
Hey, there you go. Character adds 1 to each ability score.
Holy shit.
Permanently.
What the fuck?
I know.
What?
Oh, that is like the blessing of blessings to have been given. You know what I mean?
You just wow. And ability scores at this point were like important. Like,
oh yeah,
that's a lot. You're adding a lot. Holy cow. Every single ability score. Here's the problem though. I know I have the curse of knowledge.
Yep.
I know if rolling an 8 means something incredible happens. Like,
do you want
too incredible.
Do you imagine like the first person goes up and swigs and that's what happens? And the next one is like, let me try, and shoves their way up and rolls a 1.
Well, here's the thing. Do you let the players roll, or do you an old school good DM roll it behind the scenes without them knowing, so they just assume that this is what happens every time, and then everybody goes and drinks, and then they hear the sound of hail falling behind the DM screen. Wait, what's that sound? Well, you would say that, but your mouth falls off.
So if a character takes a drink from the fountain, calculate the effects by rolling a d8 and comparing it to the table. Every character may only gain 1 effect from the water.
Of course,
any further drinks are simply thirst quenching. So yeah, as a DM, maybe you like randomly roll what the very first swig is going to do. And yes, that would be quite funny, or quite possibly you'd have 10 very angry people looking at you from the other side of the DM screen. And that's how you know you're doing it right.
So what are the other effects? Go from 8 down.
All right, so number 7, character adds 2 each to strength, and then there's nothing listed. I think it is Constitution. Wow,
that's arguably as good or better than rolling an 8.
Yeah.
It depends on
who you are, right? Yeah.
If the wizard gets this, they just get slightly more. They basically are Kumail Nanjiani, and that's how that works.
Yeah. The original module, it just says character adds 2 each to strength and scores. There's a word missing, but it makes a reference to if
Yeah.
your constitution score changes somewhere else, and this is the only thing that could
I
potentially use
bet
that.
that's
So
it.
I'm betting that's it. Number 6, character adds 2 to their dexterity score.
Okay, so you gotcha. Yeah. This is fun. This is cool. You just got to get lucky.
Number 5, character adds 1 to their prime requisite score. So whatever your primary score is for your class.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. That's a good one. I was like, prime requisite score. I've never heard of that before.
If you roll a 4, congratulations, you gain 2 hit points.
Okay, so we've reached the middle of the. We've reached the. Okay, we've
had a significant drop off in quality.
Yes.
That is the hey there, little son number 1, for Christmas. Here is a Mustang. Hi there, son number 2. Have this commemorative coin that I got from a pawn shop.
Here's the keychain I got from the dealership from when I bought the Mustang.
Yep. Right. Number 3, character is paralyzed for 2 to 20 hours.
Oh, 20 hours you're just carrying around your just stiff buddy.
Yep. That was my first experience in 2nd edition D&D. I got a character that got knocked unconscious
that's right.
for like 3 sessions. Shit didn't happen to him. He just stayed unconscious the whole time.
It was this module.
Even 15-year-old me
rolled
was like,
a 3.
Something's fishy. I don't like this. Number 2, character loses 1 hit point. Subtract this hit point for the characters. Total, the loss is not a wound. So it's a permanent loss of 1 hit point.
Yeah.
If you're a wizard,
okay,
you are
here
just
we go.
No,
number
I'm down
1.
to 3 hit points now.
Your wizard's just dead. My hit point, no.
Not my gumdrop hit points.
I think I can guess what number 1 is.
Yes. Jeremy, what do we think number 1 gets us?
Is it the opposite of number 8?
It is exactly the opposite. Character subtracts 1 from all ability scores.
That sucks.
And if you were the unfortunate monk of this order who got that roll, you were also very likely kicked the fuck out of the order.
Yeah.
Because the fountain judges you, and you were found wanting.
Yeah. The fountain didn't support you.
Also, I'm just gonna like complete and total aside. That's a pretty badass kind of origin story for someone who's like a grim and gritty anti-paladin.
Oh, for sure. The fountain that my order relies on judged me and found me wanting, and then you talk to the wizard, and the wizard's like, "Oh no, I've seen that fountain. That's just random, bro."
Yes.
What? What was that sound? Was that the sound of someone's oath breaking? Weird. Right then,
Doom music starting.
Yes, Guile's theme is starting to play.
Yep.
Oh, love it.
So yeah, the magic fountain can provide some starkly powerful effects here, which could lead to some pretty good boosts going into the dungeon below before the players get into it. It is a very powerful effect. It is permanent, so it's also unguarded. Like there's nobody around in this place. You've only been running into giant rats, and there are some goblins guarding the entrance. But so far, if you come into this from the south side, you're in pretty good shape here.
Yeah, I mean, and this fountain has been, rolling a 1 is bad, but let's be real here. There's only one really, really bad one. I would totally roll on this fountain.
Yeah,
you get a 1, that sucks. Yeah, not great, but literally anything else you roll,
the deck of many things. This is not.
Yeah, deck. Yeah, you've got 1 that really that sucks. It's not the end of the game or anything.
Right.
Book or deck of many things. But 9 times out of 10 you're getting something either good or neutral. So I'll take it.
I mean, it's like 3 out of 8 choices are negative, and really only 1 is the one that you just 100% never want to see.
Losing 1 hit point. Yeah, absolutely. Losing 1 hit point, it sucks, but it's fine. It's 1 hit point.
So from this garden, the only exit is a secret door, which leads into a long corridor. The
Uh-huh.
corridor either goes to the far end of the monastery, kind of like one long wing of the monastery, and that leads you to a supply room that the hobgoblins use. The
Uh-huh.
door to this room is locked. There is a hobgoblin in another room that carries a key. Uh, door can also be smashed open, and inside there is a significant amount of armory for the various hobgoblins that are here. There's 20 short swords, 25 swords, 30 spears, 10 crossbows, 200
Yeah.
quarrels,
Ooh.
40 shields, 2 dozen sets of leather armor, like enough here to suit out a
Wow.
decently sized war band.
Yeah, your hirelings get all new armor, or
Yeah.
just swap your old armor out for new hobgoblin smelling armor, I presume.
Yeah. And there's a very interesting note here that I think is very heads up about how to incorporate, a thing like this. If you have a big group of enemies and they have a
Uh-huh.
cache, other than just, well, I'm well beyond the point of using any of these individually.
Right.
Selling them is not feasible.
Right.
So
Not
what
I
good
mean
are they?
maybe way back then they were, but they're definitely not it's definitely not feasible
May
now.
Well, it's also, how are you getting them back across the river, right?
Yeah, true.
So
God, imagine the fee for that shit. I'm not a cargo boat. That'll be 350 gold, please.
the bard comes back. All right. Good news. We don't have to pay them the fee. No? Okay, that's great. He's just taking 70% off the top.
We owe him 70% of the loot we bring back.
So here is the note that's in this room, which I think is really nice. In truth, this room is a major collection point for the supplies that the hobgoblins are gathering for a planned assault on Guido's fort. Since the destruction
Oh.
of this trove would be a considerable setback to the attack plans, consider rewarding the players 200 experience points if they successfully destroy the contents of the room. They can do so by burning the supplies, but in this case, the whole way outside will fill with smoke and can't be occupied for another 12 rounds. Smoke spreads. It doesn't penetrate into rooms where doors are closed around it, because there are several doors along the way. We skipped to get to this room, but I felt it was important to kind of like start here. Note, the
Yeah, yeah.
experience point bonus is appropriate only if the characters take the initiative to destroy the supplies. It is important you not give the party any suggestion to do so.
Yeah.
Even a question such as, what are you going to do with this stuff, might be too suggestive. That's
Yeah.
harsh.
That's well, I mean, I think that's good, but like you said, I think that's good DMing. You want to, and because here's what you're avoiding. You do this, you clue somebody in, hey, hey, maybe there's some extra hit point, or there's some extra experience points in this if you do this thing, and then what's going to happen?
They're going to grub for it every time.
Yeah, they're going to grub for it every time.
Oh,
and I know we're
absolutely.
talking about D&D players like
XP grubbing.
yeah, just the worst people, and they are. But what we no, you want to get every bonus available to you. Everyone is a completionist to an extent when it comes to stuff like that.
If you're
And
fighting
so
for
you
your
are
lives
going
out
to-
here, then
yeah,
it's like,
I mean, yeah, exactly. Especially in these modules.
Right.
So you're gonna try, but like this is teaching you reward the thinking in the world, reward acting in the world, reward a player or players doing something that does not give them, that's not transactional, that's not an immediate benefit for them, but you're rewarding them for really being heroes. Like they're like, I will save lives by burning all this shit instead of trying to figure out a way to haul it all back and make 2 gold. Yeah, reward them for playing in the world, which I think is it's good advice. It's good advice to this day. You should do that, but don't give it to them for free. Make them earn it.
Don't encourage grubbing. Absolutely.
Yes.
If this were I have a tendency to think in terms of how can I change the ways in which I, as the DM, help my players interact with the world. And sometimes I will take cues from things like Baldur's Gate 3. In Baldur's Gate 3, this would
Mhm.
absolutely be a like dialogue option from the narrator as you enter the room. But in that case, you are working in a much more limited environment that can't fully like take advantage of all the things that can happen in person. That's why we love it in person. But that would absolutely be a dialogue option in Baldur's Gate 3, and it would make sense there.
Yeah.
The same way that this it wouldn't make sense to put it here. It would go too far.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So going back from this supply room, kind of back towards the fountain we just came from, there is kind of an empty abandoned chamber. That's just another random room here. There is an old pagan altar, room dominated by the familiar image of the leering pagan god carved from a block of granite. Big arms, giant
Mhm,
belly,
mhm.
fierce eyes. The
So
gems,
that's the guy on the door,
yeah,
right?
on the door to the crypt. Absolutely,
So where that was the guy on the door to the crypt.
yeah.
Does it get into but but that's
It's
this isn't a
weird to have a
monastery to that
beneficial.
god,
Yeah. It's weird to have a
right?
beneficial like pristine altar area, but serve something that looks like it's demonic or evil, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm keying on that. I don't know if the dungeon ever if the book ever gets there, if the dungeon ever gets there. But that's interesting that this is a monastery to what I presume is some sort, maybe stereotypically, maybe things can look like demons without being demons. But feels, and you describe it as pagan,
That's
which
literally the term used in the book. Absolutely, yes.
right. Interesting. Is this a
Yeah.
pagan monastery? Can you be a pagan monastery?
Well, they were apparently, because it says
I
that
guess
in this
so.
room, in this statue, this altar, the statue
Mhm.
behind it, there are no gems in its eye sockets. They've already been stolen.
Sure, yeah,
Before the
long ago.
statue, there is a shallow stone pit, about 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 1 foot
Uh-huh.
deep.
Sacrificing pit.
It is exactly what it is. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
sacrificing pit for human sacrifices.
Wild.
Yes, this was a bloody cult of monks. And you know what it actually kind of makes me think of? It makes me think of like the evil monk temple from Fable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the place
Holy
where you could
cow.
lead companions out to, and they'd be like, "Oh, thank you very much," and then they just sacrifice them, and you get a massive amount of evil
Yeah,
points.
that's right.
Yep.
Wow, I haven't thought about that in years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why interesting. Okay. That gives us a little bit of a different flavor.
There's a little stank on it. Yeah.
Yeah, puts a little mustard on it.
There you go. All right. So, further back in, there is a long kind of central room that is acting as the hobgoblin garrison. And this is where the majority of the hobgoblins in this place are hanging out.
Okay.
There
Okay.
are 3 hobgoblins and 2 goblins greedily feasting on a shank of meat at a dirty table when the players enter. Their weapons are close at hand, and they leap quickly to defend the room. There are 6 hobgoblins and 6 goblins on duty. The others are kind of nearby and sleeping. Whenever the players attack, they wake up and then rush in 2 rounds later. There is one hobgoblin that has more hit points than the rest, 9 hit points, carries a
Mhm.
+1 shield. We're dealing with morale
Mm.
checks again. They have like a leader bonus. They get a little bit higher
Mhm.
morale, and they spur everybody else on and keep their morale high as well. So they're less likely to break and run when you kill the first one, when you kill half their number.
Right. It's also a good way to have really big encounters that feel big that don't take forever.
Exactly. There's a chance that
Yeah.
you break their spirits, and they crack and run.
Yeah.
Which is
They
kind of,
take off.
in grand strategy games especially, that's the main point of most armies, is break
Yep.
their morale.
Yep.
There are belt pouches on most of the goblins and hobgoblins. They carry smatterings of coin each, some gold, some silver. One of them has the key to the supply room, as well as a key to another door on the far end of this room, which we will explore in a bit. First, the rest of the monastery awaits, because we haven't gone into the main sanctuary. If we came in from the west side, kind of the big front facade of this place, then we would be entering the ancient sanctuary. There's a huge pair of doors leading into this chamber. They have the same leering visage on the door of the tomb and the statue of the hill. Inside this room, there are 5 giant statues of a long-forgotten pagan god supporting the 20-foot-high ceiling with their heads. The floor is smooth stone and very clean. So, just like all the others, this is meant to feel a little unsettling, maybe a little dark, especially considering it's destroyed, mostly, and abandoned by this point. Jeremy, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because there was no talking, I suddenly got worried that something happened.
Oh, no, everything's fine.
Okay, I'll take it from here.
Yeah.
So something that may be odd for players is that there is no exit from the sanctuary room into the remainder of the monastery. So there are 2 secret doors that are tucked away at the back corners of the chamber. They can be opened with simple pushes. They're more just like, the kind of like easy to open secret doors that are just architecturally built into the place to make it kind of easy to slip in and out without being noticed.
Have you seen the new Knives Out movie?
Yes, I have.
Knives Out movie.
I've seen
so
all
very
of them.
much,
I love them all.
Very much like that. Then the Wake Up Dead Man is the one we're talking about.
Yes, Wake Up Dead Man
doesn't really help. Very much like where the guy dies. It's just like a little secret nook off to the side. Though this would have been going to the rest of the thing. But yeah, you want the altar portion to seem to be, big and open, but very final. But you have these little secret doors that you can pop out and store your booze in the case of Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah. If the players are, uncautious, then there is also the possibility that a pair of ogres may come in through the secret doors to fight them.
Oh, shit.
Because to the north of this, in a couple of rooms on the northern wing, 2 ogres that are working with the hobgoblins are hanging out. And there is a chance that players may hear them bellowing and arguing as they drink and gamble with each other. But there is also a chance that the players may be encountering the ogres elsewhere in the monastery if they wander around or if they create too much noise.
Yeah, right.
There are a couple of different pieces of jewelry and a couple bits of coin because they're gambling for some pile of gold and electrum and silver. There's a trunk with a key that can open it from the largest ogre's belt. Inside the trunk, 5 huge jugs of wine, a sack holding 400 gold and 1,000 silver, and a very filthy, dirty leather sack that is actually a bag of holding.
Hey, exactly. This is where you put all those. This is what you've been looking for, so you can take all those mundane weapons and sell them for 2 gold.
Yeah, like I think this might be let's raid all these supplies, take everything here, let's run back to the boat, get rid of all this stuff, buy better supplies, and then come back.
Yeah, probably done way too many times.
Yep. So after dealing with the ogres, finding the storage room, and dealing with the goblins, there was that one door in the hobgoblin barracks at the garrison. At the far end of that, not a secret door, a locked door that the hobgoblin captain's kind of key opens. And this gives you the stairs leading down into the darkness below the monastery, which is the entrance to the dungeon levels deep below the monastery. You are now entering into the dungeon proper, where the hobgoblins await in force,
along with their king, if rumor is to be believed.
Yes, there is a hobgoblin king at the depth of this. It says that since the humanoids dominate this level of the dungeon, the goblins and hobgoblins and bugbears that are down here, few other monsters are found. Check
They
for
were
one.
too well organized. They were working too well together.
Yep.
I knew that the Bugbear Job Fair was down here. I knew they were involved somehow. I was going to mention them earlier. Yeah, well, I was going to mention them earlier because you've got goblins, you've got hobgoblins, you've got ogres. They're working mostly in tandem with one another. They're nice and grouped up, and it's like, I bet there are bugbears around here organizing this. They got their lanyards and their clipboards.
Editor's note: for more on the Bugbear Job Fair, listen to Keep on the Borderlands episode of Analog Dungeon, True Believers.
Yeah, if you haven't, and most of the people I think I
would hope so. If you're this deep
probably
into the
listen
sauce,
to Keep on the Borderlands. Yeah,
there are bugbears, there are hobgoblins, there's goblins. So as a result, not really many other monsters down here.
Sure. It's a goblinoid party. Come on, you got to be. If you've got a ranger, well, at this point you wouldn't have a ranger in your party. But if this were 3rd edition and you had a ranger in your party, he would be absolutely crushing it.
Hog and slop.
Yeah. Hog and slop, pig and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, going crazy.
So it notes here that if any of the monsters, the hobgoblins, goblins, bugbears, if they break from a morale check failure and they run and they make it away from the players, they immediately head to the Hobgoblin King to alert them.
Oh, straight to. Did they give the Hobgoblin King a name?
Good question. Let me dig in.
Yeah. Heading straight to King Hobart. Making up a hobgoblin name.
Hobie Hobart, the Hobgoblin King.
Hobie Hobart, the Hobgoblin King.
Almost
that sounds like an old
Humphreys.
folk song.
Yeah. It looks like it's just the Hobgoblin King.
Okay.
I'm not really coming across any names here. Yeah. So
you see, we'll you get a lot of that in these. They don't give them names, or they name like the most random NPCs, and they don't name run straight to the king. King HG. Yeah. We've got bad guys.
So players who head down into the dungeon are dealing with bugbears, goblins. The first place that they may wind up is, ironically enough, possibly the sitting room that leads them to the Bugbear Job Fair, because there's a chamber that they could come into kind of right as after they get off of the stairs leading down into this place. And there's some bugbears hanging out, cooking stew over coals, drinking some wine, and just enjoying
discussing
life.
The quarterly reports. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Discussing the candidates for the position that needs filling.
Right.
Goblets are worth 30 gold each. They're decent pieces of kit to be found. But if you go this direction first when you enter in, you're dealing with the bugbears. This is kind of a little bit of their area. There's an empty cell that could be used for a jail cell, but also it could be used for like a monk's kind of, quiet solitude cell when it was originally created. The bugbears did have a pair of dwarves in here that they were fattening for a sinister purpose. I don't know if the bugbears knew this or not, but there is a block of stone on the back wall that's a secret door leading to a small tunnel, and the dwarves used it to tunnel their way to freedom.
We love that.
And the bugbears have no idea what happened.
Weird. They just never figured it out. They didn't look around.
Well, they're dwarves, so they just
that's true.
Pulled a whole stone thing off the wall and like, ooh, this looks good tunneling. They made it out, and then they put the stone back, and it's so good that the bugbears were like, they just up and vanished.
Yeah, that's
which
funny.
Means if they capture any prisoners from the players, they're going to stick them in this room, which has a secret exit already built in.
Which has a secret exit, yeah. They just vanish immediately. I think there's some sort of curse on our cell.
Right, yeah. Watch, we're going to put them in there. I'm going to turn around, count to 5, turn back around, and they're gone. And the secret is it takes them like a half a day to count to 5, and then when they finally do, it's like, oh, they're already gone. So the bugbear's quarter is a little further down the hallway from the cell. The room is locked. If the characters pick the lock or smash the door, they automatically gain initiative, so they'll be getting the jump on the bugbears. If they hit the door once without breaking it, the bugbears are armed and waiting for them on the next round. There are 3 bugbears in the room. as well as one of them carrying a +1 battle axe. So most of these,
Wow.
most of these groups are going to have like one really good, higher HP figure that has a
Mhm.
powerful weapon on them, which I kind of like. It means you're taking actually useful stuff away from the monsters you're killing.
Yeah, and everybody's getting something cool, you hope. We
Yeah.
haven't really seen anything for any magic users hanging out down here, but the melee folks are getting it.
Yeah. So on the bugbears, one of them has a key around their neck that goes to a chest in the room. And see if this fits right for bugbear loot. There is a leather armor, short sword, bow and quiver, 16 arrows,
Yeah.
a sack with 120 silver, 30 electrum, 50 gold, and a backpack
Mhm.
with a coil of rope, 2 flasks of oil, and a set of thieves' lockpicking tools.
Yeah, classic bugbears as rogue sort of vibe.
Yeah, but they're not the right size for the bugbear.
Okay, well then that's maybe an issue.
Nah.
Perhaps somebody that they consumed.
Or
Uh,
possibly a thief who's in another cell just a little down the hallway, actually.
right, a naked rogue somewhere in this dungeon.
Indeed, there is. In a cell a little down from that room, in another cell similar to the one the doors were in, is
Mhm.
Cullen de Filch.
DeFilch,
Yes.
great name.
Yes.
No notes.
Cullen de Filch. A
Cullen
thief.
DeFilch.
If the characters release Cullen from his prison, he is most grateful. He's a hapless thief captured by bugbears on the outskirts of Guido's fort 3 weeks earlier. It's his equipment that was in the chest. He is happy to join the party for the duration of the adventure. He does not ask for any shares of the loot, claiming his freedom is reward enough. If, however, he should be left alone with a bag of jewels.
I was gonna say no. There's no way
No.
that's happening.
So I started watching. There's a new anime that is about heroes that are like capital offenders, and so they're forced to be heroes and fight like terrible battles as part of their punishment.
Sure.
One of them
The
is
the Suicide Squad.
Basically,
that's the plot of Suicide Squad.
yeah, it's deep fantasy, and they can be
Yeah.
resurrected and all. Anyway, one of them is a thief who is literally a kleptomaniac. Like, he will just disappear in the middle of the fight because he's robbing the people they're supposed to be protecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the characters are not interested in the services of another thief, Cullen does not try to change their minds. He asks if the party has seen his equipment, and if they return it, he will leave. He does not become hostile, feeling his position is too precarious to risk antagonizing his rescuers. The smartest fucking NPC you will ever fucking find.
That's true. This guy is not going to fight you because he knows you will whip his ass.
Yep.
That's exactly what should happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, however Cullen's unfortunate escapades turn out, the only other thing near this area is a subterranean stream with a group of giant centipedes still inside. So, players should absolutely not try to mess with this, because the only thing in here is an empty, flooded chamber that if they spend any amount of time in, they have a very strong chance of drowning in.
Yeah, and then having to fight centipedes for no reason.
Yeah, absolutely not. Not worth the time and energy. So, Cullen, thief, bugbears dealt with. Perhaps you might have a pocket thief now. Onward to the rest of the dungeon.
Onward we go.
As you are heading through the dungeon, there's a couple of corridors that kind of ring like a city bypass outside the main core of the dungeon. So, Jeremy, are you tackling the main dungeon proper, just heading straight into the meat of this thing, or do you want to kind of circle around the perimeter first?
See, I think in a situation like this, it would be prudent to do the edges, do the outskirts first, and then that way you can kind of knock off any things that are just hanging around in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm still thinking a little too much of studying of the Hill Giant Chief, but that's the vibe I'm going with.
Sure. So if you stick with kind of that outside area, you're not digging into kind of the central main part of this level of the dungeon. You will circle around in a perimeter until you reach some big, wide, 10-foot wide spaces that lead to an arena. Torches placed on the walls at frequent intervals light this huge chamber. 2 massive stone columns rise from the arena floor to support the roof. The arena floor is 10 feet below the level of the hallway. Lying in a circle in the center of the arena, and hardly recognizable from the upper deck, are 4 bodies. If characters stick around and look closer, even approaching the bodies, they will see that the bodies have been pierced by many arrows, but they haven't been dead for long. As the characters approach, 2 shadowy forms advance from behind one of the columns to stand by the bodies and growl menacingly at the players. These are 2 wolves trained as war dogs. This is a dead party of adventurers, and the canines, being very loyal, are guarding the bodies of their masters. The dogs look scrawny and underfed.
Ugh. So this is, I know we reference BG3 on here all the time.
Sure.
This is Scratch for sure.
Yeah. Scratch 1 and Scratch 2.
Yeah, Scratch 1 and Scratch 2.
Or Itchy and Scratchy,
and
depending on how you look at it.
we got there at the same time, Scratch and Itch. Yeah, or that episode of Futurama that no one ever wants you to talk about.
No.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry to ruin your day.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The day was already ruined by the endless void that we are trapped in.
Yeah. So you just back. So surely. So do they have like a bunch of really great magical items in like very obvious, like out in the open?
Yeah, they do.
I knew they would.
There's plate armor. There's short sword +1. There's a ring of protection +1 on the little finger of the magic user.
We're gonna put some dogs protecting their fallen masters in between you and some sick loot. This is worse than the trolley problem.
Also, how many rations did you bring with you extra, and are you willing to cross them off to hopefully feed the best boys in existence?
When will D&D invent druids so we don't have to deal with this anymore?
But yeah, if the characters approach, the dogs will obviously grow more hostile and eventually attack. If they speak in a calm voice and offer them food, they will eat hungrily, and from that moment on, regard the person who fed them as their master or mistress, even to the point of letting that individual examine the bodies of their former masters.
Okay. All right. We'll take that.
Yep. So yes, you can recruit the doggos.
Yeah, okay, well, all's well that ends well then. I was pretty sure it was going to be like, if the players get anywhere near, the dogs will attack. And thank you, module.
Yep.
You've ruined my whole day. But that's okay. That sounds good.
But yeah, the party included 2 fighters, a thief, and a magic user, which means there are 2 pairs of plate mail armor. There are swords, longbows, and 2d10 arrows. The thief wore leather armor and was armed with a short sword +1 and a dagger. Magic user was unarmed, had the ring of protection +1. None of them carried any monetary treasure. The dogs have been trained to obey the following commands. Kill, which causes them to attack ferociously, getting a +1 to all damage rolls.
Wow.
Stay, which causes them to remain in place for 1d4 times 6 turns, if not countermanded. Fetch, which causes them to advance and pick up an object without harming it. Guard, which causes them to eye a creature suspiciously without harming it unless it moves. These dogs have bombastic side eye.
eyes them suspiciously.
Yep.
What are you doing over there? What are you doing?
If you are familiar with Ace from any of the Batman animated series, just where its eyes just lower and they become the all white Batman eyes.
Yes, yeah.
If the creature that they are eyeing suspiciously moves, the dogs respond the same way as if told to kill.
Okay. I mean, you said guard, you didn't say didn't say not kill, exactly. So
they can't run away if they can't run.
That's right.
And there's also stop, which can be used to negate kill or fetch. The dogs will also act on their own initiative to warn of impending danger. So they are really good. They're war dogs.
Honestly, I kind of like these better, at least the way they're structured, than like any animal companion I've seen for rangers in the last two or three different editions of the game.
God, we could
Like
go all
this-
the way back to first edition, and there's still better Rangers
Right?
than we've been getting lately.
Right?
Holy
That's
cow.
a little crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong? Am I right? I mean,
I'm having to go through the battle of, do I allow my Ranger in my current campaign to both mark and let their animal attack in the same bonus action?
yeah, it's they have not figured out. They have not figured it out yet.
No.
They'll get there. They'll get there.
So that's kind of the big main thing that is on the outside of the perimeter, is this giant arena that has some pretty sick loot that they just left on the things. Also probably because they shot them and then they realized, the dogs are smart enough to get out of the way of our arrows, and they're not going to let us get near the bodies. So we're just going to let them stay there until they starve, and then we'll come back and take the loot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easy way to do it.
Yep. The other thing on the outside of the perimeter, if you stick like all the way on the outside, is the corridor that takes you to the lair of the Hobgoblin King. So it is entirely possible that you could bypass the whole main meat of this level of the dungeon and find yourself about to approach the Goblin King just by taking, the outside path around this dungeon.
I have just an innate knack of speed running every dungeon. I find the way to the end. I miss all the middle. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
I would also say it's entirely possible that if you fought some, creatures and they ran away from you because you broke their morale, that this is the path they would take, and that could
for sure
lead you this way. They may also lead you into the main part of the dungeon where plenty of other creatures are, but who knows? We'll see.
Right.
So if you were to go into kind of the main area, one of the first things you could run across is a torture chamber with a couple of goblins. You got your Iron Maiden. You got your torture rack. You got a huge pot of bubbling oil.
Sure.
All the classics.
All the classics. Your thumb screws. Your shin breakers.
I'm trying to remember. From
me too.
The various implements of torture on the. It's not Zoran, is it? What that movie is? No. God, I can't remember the name of it. The Sacha Baron Cohen movie where he's the dictator.
Oh, the dictator?
God, is it named The Dictator?
I think it's just called The Dictator.
Son of a whore. It's the scene where he and I want to say John C. Reilly.
It's just called The Dictator. Yeah. It's just called The Dictator.
The scene where he's kind of like casting side eye at all the torture implements. Oh, that's the Oblivion nut screws. That's pretty good, but where's the splash guard? Well, now I don't even want to torture you. You're going to be no. Show me the next one. Show me the next one. I'm sure I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it. Show it to me.
Exactly.
So if you head south from there is a cleric's office, which I'm sure was maybe used by a very powerful figure in the church when this was still operating.
Sure. Though weird that his office is in not even the basement, the caves beneath. Though I have to remember this is an evil monastery, so give him the evilest office.
Yeah.
In an evil monastery, you don't get the corner office, you get the evilest office.
Yeah. I mean, we are talking about a monastery that was doing human sacrifices, and that was giving people random magic fountain drinks to see if they got to like noogie them or whatever,
Yeah, that's true.
So having like
when you said fountain drinks, my brain immediately went to like soda fountain.
God, 7-Eleven.
Yes, and like I momentarily forgot about the fact that there was a literal fountain that you were drinking out of. So it's like, oh hey, come get you got your Pepsi, you got your Diet Pepsi, you got your Starry. You used to be called Sierra Mist.
I will sell the fuck out to find a place that's got Mr. Pibb on tap. I will do it every time. Oh my
god. Yes, I don't know what it is about Mr. Pibb. On tap.
Mostly it's a cherry coke is what it is. It's not like
it's like a spicy cherry. I mean, it's a Dr. Pepper analog, but yeah, Dr. Pepper is like a spicy cherry cola, but I think Mr. Pibb does it better.
They do
in the fountain.
They absolutely do.
I really do. I love
they
Mr.
do it.
Pibb.
Clarksville, where I'm at, plenty of Pibb everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love it.
This is Pibb country.
Bingo. So Pibb gives you the 1 to all stats is what it is.
Yeah, the Pibb gives you. So that begs the question: what gives you the -1 to all stats?
Surge.
Oh, see, I like Surge.
Nah,
I like Surge.
Nah.
Surge takes away 1
shut
hit
down
point
when that happens.
Yeah, Surge takes away 1 hit point. No, it's Tab. It's Tab that gives you the -1.
Yeah. So in this little cluster of 3 or 4 rooms, which are appropriately tucked behind a small pagan temple that is in the basement down here, are several rooms that are related to a cleric. And there is a cleric who is actually inhabiting these. The evil, foul Moray Vaco or Vaco. I don't think it's supposed to be Vaca like the cow with a no at the end of it, but it's Moray Vaco. He feels quite secure behind his many secret doors. So nothing in this area is locked to be able to get into. There is the office that we described. There's a big desk in it with an elaborate candelabra. There is a miniature statue on the desk of the same god whose likeness is found throughout the monastery. It's been carved from another tip or hint here, hardened lava. It's carved from pumice.
Yeah.
There is 2 drawers in the desk. One opens easily, has basically, parchment, quill, stationary stuff. The second drawer is locked, trapped with a poisoned needle. And yes, it's a save versus die poison.
Yeah, love. We're bringing poison back.
Yep.
We're bringing poison back, folks.
There is a higher chance to save against this poison because it only has a little poison. It's a little poison as a treat.
It's a little poison as a treat.
Right.
We can have a little poison.
You want some poison for the table? Do we want some poison for the table? Are we going to get some poison for the table? I think we could do some poison for the table. In the locked drawer is a small pouch containing 7 gems with 20 gold each, as well as a rolled up parchment. This is another cleric spell, a spell of cure light wounds.
Okay. Can never have too many.
Which I'm sure, if you're opening the thing and you're shaking the gems out and you're looking at the scroll, oh, it's got cure light wounds. And in the background is the turned up feet of the thief who died trying to open this. Everybody else is like, neat. Another area in this kind of little cloister is a cleric's sitting room. The floor of the room is padded by several huge bearskins, 4 soft chairs surrounding a low table. On the walls are niches for 24 candles and a shelf holding 4 crystal goblets and 2 bottles of wine. Crystal goblets, 50 gold each. The wine, 80 gold per bottle. Both the goblets both the goblets and wine are fragile. There's a 20% chance they break every time a character carrying them is involved in a violent situation.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, it's interesting that it's mentioned because, as we described at the top of this module, there's kind of one particular event that is meant to cause the players to go from this level of the dungeon to the next level of the dungeon.
Oh, that super sucks.
Yeah.
You don't even have to tell. I think we all get what's coming.
Exactly. It says combat or a fall, for example.
Bolded.
Yep.
With a little arrow that says, put a pin in this.
Yeah, right. So Moray Vaco is probably in the cleric's chamber when the players kind of go into this area. It's got a table, a bed, some chairs. He is a hunched and scrawny figure writing on a sheet of parchment whenever the players enter. He has a +1 mace in combat. He's always wearing it, as well as his own plate mail armor. He fights to the death. He is described as a degenerate and filthy individual of thoroughly chaotic alignment. He has stayed so long with the goblins, he has even begun to resemble them. His skin has taken on a gray hue, and he has filed his teeth into points. Moray Vaco is one of the last survivors of the black-hearted cult that founded this monastery centuries ago. Lacking human followers, he gathered a congregation of evil monsters. He provides the monsters spiritual guidance and moral leadership, and they provide him protection, food, and an occasional prisoner to be sacrificed to Moray's iniquitous deity. The parchment on
Okay, so
Moray's
first
desk,
of all,
yeah.
Go ahead.
The parchment on Moray's desk, covered with foul chants in an ancient tongue. Hidden beneath his bed is a long locked box with 120 silver, 40 electrum, 30 gold, an elven cloak. I'm betting that was taken from someone that they sacrificed.
Oh, yeah.
And a bottle with a potion of invisibility. The key to this box, the keys to rooms nearby, and the key to the locked desk drawer are on a ring on his belt.
So, first of all, great use of the word iniquitous.
Uh-huh.
Second of all, I was not expecting such depth to what was going on down here.
Right.
I love that this is like, oh, instead of this being this old evil temple that the hobgoblins, the goblinoids have taken over, and of course they fit right at home, blah, blah, blah. But having this guy here being and all of the, like, the backstory for him and tying it together with a great, like, really good. Like, I love that. That's the sort of thing you need in dungeons like this. This is sort of storytelling this is a good way of storytelling while still having kind of a combat heavy, old school dungeony, like, yeah, great. I did not expect such depth in Horror on the Hill, but hey,
and it's like connective tissue, right? For the monastery, right? There is an actual representative of this thing, even if it is like the dregs of the last of it. And it's interesting that you praise it as much as you do, because this is kind of sometimes mentioned as one of the kind of sticking points of the module, or one of the not really well reviewed pieces, because it's like, why is this guy down here? Why aren't they just a hobgoblin that is like an evil hobgoblin cleric? And the reason is, yeah. And the main reason is there weren't really any evil hobgoblin clerics in the monster manual. So they had a human. Sure. They had all the stats for the human, and they put it down here.
But this is so much better than just a random evil hobgoblin.
I agree.
You get now. I will say, so I do have to say, at least from this standpoint, I could see, while playing this module, it's hard to get all of that story across, right?
Yes.
Because you come in, there's this weird guy who fights to the death and is well, I mean, we say evil, but really we're talking about chaos here.
Yeah.
Is chaotic, so jumps at you kill him, and then it's like, oh, there's just a dude down here. I wonder where that dude came from. So you have to, as a DM, figure out ways of telling his story. But I feel like if you can tell the story, that's way better than just some random other hobgoblin down here, especially because the hobgoblins didn't found this monastery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no hobgoblin religion. They don't seem to be, at least to this point, they don't seem to be worshiping any of these. I mean, they somebody stole the eyes out of the statue above. I presume it may be them.
Yeah.
So this is way better. This is way better storytelling. Yeah, I'm completely against that. This is a plus, not a negative. I disagree, random internet commenter.
Well, to be fair, I think those
you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
I think those were written reviews from like when this was published. So.
Oh, at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree with those people even more then, because I feel like as long as you can get this out there and you can get your players to, like, I feel like that's awesome. That's a great detail, especially in filing his teeth down. Like, yeah, that's world building.
Yeah.
That's scene setting. I love that.
It's also another like potential representation of, like, this guy is so chaotic, right? Because we have the law versus chaos axis that is the primary, if you're with the monsters, you're chaos largely.
Uh-huh.
So because of that, like the more you dig into like this side of the alignment chart, the worse its effects are. It's like becoming a Sith. You know, digging into that dark side of the Force
Right.
has really bad stuff that goes on with you.
Right. You're not just born this way. You can earn this. You can take this on.
Yep.
And it shows how far how far chaos can transform somebody into a presumably, again, we're not talking evil. I keep wanting to say evil, a presumably chaotic uh entity.
Yes.
Like that's way better storytelling than this is a random hobgoblin cleric. You fought tons of hobgoblins. Here's another one.
Right.
Like, this is
Here
storytelling.
is the
This is
hobgoblin
world building.
spiritual leader of the hobgoblin, yada yada.
Right. Kill the hobgoblin pope before you kill the hobgoblin king. Like, let's get this all over with. Take down every chess piece. This is a dude who's adapted his chaos religion to fit those around him, which I think is interesting.
So in the back of this room, there is a secret door that leads to the back end of a pagan temple deep underground. There's 2 rows of pews, and there's a big statue, another one of these, large pagan god statues that has gems in its eyes again. It's nice that we get like multiple statues with multiple gems in their eyes. So this is like the easy secret door that goes back from where his chambers are and out to, serve his congregation. If
Right.
players, enter in here and they start deciding to mess with the statue, trying to pry the gems loose takes a while. But these gems are also bigger. They're fist-sized stones, and they're also worth more. They're 300 golds worth each.
That's significant.
It notes that each gem is hooked to an elaborate trap, which is sprung unless removed by a thief, who would presumably be able to keep the trap from triggering just automatically by dint of being a thief,
Right.
Note that each gem's trap must be removed individually. If a trap is sprung, the statue's mouth drops open, and 4 robber flies buzz angrily into the room. They attack the characters randomly, although one is certain to go after the character stealing the gems.
Right. Robber flies?
Robber flies. I don't believe these are
what is a robber fly?
I don't believe these are new monsters. Robber flies are real flies. They're also called assassin flies. They're powerfully built, bristly flies with a short, stout proboscis enclosing a sharp, sucking hypopharynx. This is not from the monster manual. This is from Wikipedia. So
I was about to say, this is the weirdest D&D monster I have ever heard of.
Yeah. According to Old School Essentials, a robber fly is a 3-foot-long carnivorous fly with yellow and black stripes. They look similar to killer bees, which they hunt. They may attack humans.
Okay.
They can leap up to 30 feet and attack in a single movement. They have a bite attack.
Wait, why would they need to leap if they can fly?
Well, I think that they like move and attack at the same time as part of it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they can absolutely just like potentially fuck up some players up, but especially like the thing opens up and oh shit, there's a ton of flies. Oh god, they're the size of dogs. Oh god, they're eating my face.
More evil insects.
Yeah. There's a side room but behind a secret door that has a ladder that climbs down a hole and goes directly underneath the statue. That's where the robber flies were being kept. There's a cage where they were in and a big hunk of rotted meat that they were nibbling on before the players disturbed the trap.
Interesting.
Another area that's kind of near the entrance of this, if the players come downstairs and they start kind of poking in at the passageways as they go along, they may catch some heat and smoke coming from a forge that is also in this area of the dungeon. 4 huge furnace fires burn along the west wall of this large room. The air is sooty and smoky. Fires are heating various pieces of metal, which are being forged into sword blades and spearheads. Working in this forge are 8 hobgoblins, 1 bugbear, and a very dirty dwarf imprisoned by a ball and chain attached to his ankle.
This is very common. Imprisoning dwarves for them to make weapons for your people. Like it's very ingrained that this is the way. Dwarves are really good at making metal weapons, so you got to go get yourself a dwarf. I can imagine a dwarf who's not a blacksmith is like kidnapped by hobgoblins, and they bring him down there and they chain him up to a forge next to. All right, dwarf, make your finest dwarven blades. And he's like, bro, I'm an accountant. I don't know how to do any of this. I can balance your like checkbook, but no, you're a dwarf. You can make fine sword blades. But it's like, yeah, no, I can't do that.
Just go find your pocket dwarf.
Yeah, exactly. This is this being very stereotypical. I'm like I said, I'm an accountant. I have no and then of course he picks up the hammer, he starts hammering, and then an incredible sword blade just jumps out. He's like, god damn it.
Yep. It's Token slapping the bass.
yes.
Token laid out a sick bass line. I told you, Eric, I can't. Just shut up and do it. God damn it. So yes, you have a dwarf in here with a bunch of goblins and a hobgoblin, and a bugbear. They will leap and attack. The bugbear is driving the dwarf and driving the hobgoblins to do their work. When the dwarf sees that the player characters are, well, they're player characters.
Right,
I guess he sees the like blue text over their head.
Yes.
You know,
the green outline around them when his own outline is red. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. He has been a prisoner for nearly half a year, and his skill as a smith is the only thing keeping them from killing him. Yeah. And given the chance, he will fight savagely for his freedom. God, can you imagine like this, like rag wrapped around his head, nothing else above his waist on, ankle, ball and chain on him. He's hammering. They start fighting. He looks up and sees. He looks up again, and then he just grabs the ball and chain and starts just massacring people.
Like a flail.
Hell yeah. He's just Jaster Creel, the absorbing man, just smashing the hell out of people with a giant ball and chain.
I love that.
He will use his hammer. Actually, his hammer. He will throw it. He will smash heads in with it. And as soon as the players are victorious, he will pick up a shield from a dead hobgoblin and his hammer and join them to fight.
Nice.
So you could pick up a whole. Yeah. You could almost pick up a mini party down here. You got
some hirelings.
Dwarf. You got a pair of war dogs. You can
basically a whole other party down here. You come out. You come in with being some guys, and you leave being, ideally more guys. At the very least, different guys.
Yeah. As you're exploring through the rest of this part of the dungeon, there's another supply room bigger than the one upstairs, full of other kind of more meat and potatoes kind of supplies. There are big bits of cured leather, grain, wheat and oats, salt, dried beans, all of the food you need to feed your army. Thousands of arrowheads, fresh torches, coils of rope, cloaks, iron spikes, like a whole bunch of the other stuff you need to kit your army out. And as a result, if you also kind of take the hint and destroy this cache, it's worth 400 experience points.
Very nice. Very nice. Very smart.
There's a dining hall nearby where 4 goblins are eating. There is a small ready room that is just south of there with a group of goblins and hobgoblins seated around a table. There are some wooden benches lying around. They've been kind of gambling while they're on call, waiting to be told, oh, there's a problem. So when the problem shows up, the player characters, they will attack, except for one of them who tries to slip out an opposite door in the room to go alert the king.
Right. Yeah, the king has to be ready for these players, because clearly all of the other hobgoblins have not been enough to stop them.
Yeah, right. There is an aviary down here because if you didn't run into them, the king has captured a flock of deadly piranha birds, feeding them only rarely, and has kept them in a giant bird cage, which is essentially
Oh, yeah.
this entire room. If the door is opened, the flock of brightly colored birds will take to the air and zoom straight at you, serrated
yeah.
beaks a snapping.
Wow.
There
love
are
that.
8 half-starved, ravenous piranha birds in this room, and they will attack the poor, unfortunate person who opened the door.
Very cool. Love the utilizing. Like, you meet the piranha birds early, you get their vibe, and then you come down here, and it's very like that. That tells you the whole story of, oh yeah, they've caught a bunch of these, and then have just been holding them, waiting for you to come down here, so they can just open the cage door, and then you have to deal with them.
So there's another room that's kind of halfway between this ready room and the aviary that the players may decide to check out instead, and it's an interesting one. When they open the door, the room is void of furniture. The bodies of 2 humans who obviously died violently are sprawled across the floor. One is wearing plate mail and carrying a shield and sword whose blade is broken. The tip of the sword lies across the room from the body. Strapped to his back is a quiver holding a dozen arrows and a longbow. The other dead human is wearing deeply gashed leather armor. A short sword lies on the floor near his body. If players check it out, the longbow is a +1 magical longbow.
Nice.
Both corpses show signs of mutilation, having been partially devoured.
Like, okay.
Like, it's clear that stuff has been kind of torn and flesh has been ripped off of those torn areas.
So, but we know it was the piranha birds because they were being starved. So
yeah,
we're setting something up.
There is a secret door on the wall opposite when the players enter, and waiting on the other side are what caused these adventurers' deaths. Thools.
Oh, the Thools. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So there is a chance that a Thool detects the players in the room and slips through the secret door to attack. If that happens, there is a possibility the Thool could trip over a third corpse in the room, the still invisible body of a dead magic user lying directly in front of the secret door. So they may, like, accidentally alert the players that there is more loot to be found in here. Because on the dead magic user, there is a ring of protection that they are wearing that is keeping them invisible.
Oh,
the body can only be discovered by using detect magic or stumbling into it. If the party searches the room, chances are 1 in 5 that someone stumbles over the body. The magic user's body has no value except for the magic ring.
Right. So do you know where Thools came from?
I do not, actually.
So Thools are kind of infamous, and I learned this because I was reading some stuff about Blackmore. They're kind of infamous in that they didn't exist, and then there was a typo in, I don't think it was in a module, it was like a monster manual reprint or something. There was a typo that listed an encounter table, and Thool was listed as one of the things you could encounter, but they never really explained what it was.
Oh yeah.
And so in sort of an homage to that, they created which was, of course, it was a typo for ghoul. It was just Thool instead. That's why it's spelled Thoul. And a Thoul they decided it was a crossbreed of hobgoblin, troll, and ghoul, which it's really just a hobgoblin or troll hybrid that can paralyze you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the relatively infamous origin of the Thoul and why they decided that you needed a hobgoblin, basically a small troll that can paralyze you, and a hobgoblin that can regenerate and paralyze you is effectively what we're dealing with here.
Yeah,
so
regeneration,
it makes sense here.
Paralyzing, and hobgoblin nastiness. That's a whole bunch of, like, no thank you.
Yeah, it's a bunch of mashing of stuff together, and all because of a because of a typo in a book somewhere that was supposed to be ghoul.
Well, the other place to find down here is a room that just has a partial statue carved from pumice in the likeness of the other demonic kind of looking creatures that are made statues everywhere else. So you found the statue carving room. You found the place that's pumping out all of this decor.
The one thing they can carve is this evil god. Good thing this is the god we worship.
Yep. So as players approach the south end of this floor of the dungeon, they will cross a long stretch of hallway that the DM has marked in their guide as 40-foot long trap doors, which are activated from the room of the Hobgoblin King, which is the corridor goes down and then bends to the east. So there's a 90-degree turn at the opposite end of the corridor. But somehow the king knows that they're in that corridor and will detect them. While the seat in the throne room where the Hobgoblin King awaits them is vacant, the weight of 4 characters will cause the doors to swing open. So this is one of those trap doors that it opens the long way and they fold to the side, plummeting those 4 characters down a 300-foot chute below the trap and depositing them in the dungeon level below this one, falling through a hole in the room's ceiling. There is a 75% chance any characters walking immediately behind those 4 also fall into the chute. Any characters that don't fall are isolated in this dead-end section of the dungeon, although they can still shout to the fallen companions below. So this is what's been mentioned as like, oh no, there's a perfidious trap that may cause it to happen. It's interesting to note that it requires the throne to be empty, because I guess it implies that even if alerted to their presence, the Hobgoblin King is not going to leave his throne. He's going to wait on the throne. And then he's only off the throne once the players defeat him. So this trap probably will not activate until the player characters have cleared the upcoming dead-end portion of the dungeon, which is another part of the whole, this feels a little on rails, right?
Right. They don't want you to fall into this hole before you've done everything that you need to do up here. Otherwise, you get the surprise early, and then I don't know, but is there a way back up here once you get down there?
Well, it says characters falling through the trap accidentally will take 1 through 3 points of damage each for the jostling and bouncing on the way down the long curving slide. Characters who choose to fall on purpose, maybe they jump in after their friends, can slide all the way down without incurring damage. Characters that fall on purpose can also communicate the safety of the slide to characters still above. The chute is very smooth-sided. It is impossible to climb back up, even by a thief who successfully rolls to climb sheer surfaces. A levitation or fly spell could get a character up, but getting the whole party up this way can be a slow and awkward process, even if the party has enough spells to make it possible. If some characters remain above, a long coil of rope could be used to pull fallen characters back up, but it is much more likely all the characters will slide down the chute to continue the adventure. A little presumptive, again.
Yeah, sure.
A little railroady.
Yeah. And players will always go against your railroad, so...
Yep.
But I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to ensure that they don't fall down there early and then not be able to get back up and miss out on that. I would say there are much simpler ways of doing that, but this is the way they chose.
Yep. So if things go according to plan, then player characters will go down the stretch of hallway, take a left turn, and almost reach the hall of the Hobgoblin King. First things they will come across are a pair of Hobgoblin sleeping quarters and a long Hobgoblin hall where the main force of Hobgoblin kind of gathers and rests. There is a sleeping quarter that has 14 Hobgoblins in it. Many of them have small pouches on their waists because it notes that they are distrustful of each other. So you might run into a good brace of hobgoblins waiting for you if they are alerted. And then there are a big pair of double doors that lead into the hall of the Hobgoblin King. The huge double doors to the room are not locked. This chamber is where the Hobgoblin King holds sway over his minions on and in the hill. As the double doors open and you enter into this wide cross-shaped room, a huge hobgoblin is seated on the throne at the south end of the chamber. One hobgoblin bodyguard is standing to each side of the throne. 4 other hobgoblins are seated around a huge fire burning in the center of the room. 2 more hobgoblins are drawing liquid from a keg in the southwest corner of the room. Apparently, some kind of party is going on because the atmosphere in the room is festive. Obviously, this won't be the case if they have been alerted.
Right.
But you might catch them.
You might catch them unawares. And then you walk in and the record scratches and everyone looks at you and...
Boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka.
Yep.
And there's that silent moment, and then the one hobgoblin takes a slow sip of their keg drink.
Yep.
And the king is like, "Get him!"
And you just hear shh as everyone draws weapons. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. The king's personal bodyguards are armed with spears, one of which is a spear +1. The king is wearing a ring of fire resistance, so he is invulnerable to normal fires and gains a bonus saving against magical fires. When the doors to the room are opened, the Hobgoblin King shouts a warning, and his other soldiers will attack. As long as the king is alive, the hobgoblins fight with a morale of 10. If the king is killed, they fight with a morale of 8. The fire in the center of the room is heating a large kettle of boiling liquid vaguely resembling soup. It is, in fact, soup, but characters would find it rancid and foul-tasting, though not poisonous. The smoke from the fire is vented through a large hole in the ceiling. Each of the 8 hobgoblins has a belt pouch with some coins on it. On his belt, the king carries a ring of keys, including those to nearby rooms, which include the treasure room and his bedroom. The hobgoblin bodyguard who carries a magical spear carries a key to a chest in the bodyguard's chamber. So this room, again, 1 hobgoblin king, big dude as compared to the other hobgoblins. 2 hobgoblin bodyguards, 1 with magic spear. We don't know about the magic helmet. 6 hobgoblins, all maybe supported by the 14 other hobgoblins that are in the other rooms nearby.
So this is a throwdown. This is you aren't taking the king alone. This is the king. This is all the king's horses and all the king's men. Like
this could be. This absolutely could be. It might be if this place is on 100% wild alert that the PCs come around the corner of this room and see like a whole column of hobgoblins waiting for them with weapons and armor, swords and shields, and then are attacking them in the hallway, or maybe hanging out in the side hallways in order to stab at them if they come by, kind of lying in wait. And then they may retreat if their number is reduced, by a couple or so into the main throne room of the king. And then the players might have to fight a whole big chunk of regular hobgoblins in addition to all the things in this room.
Yeah, that's a big fight. A climactic end to the module. Big, huge asterisk.
So when the players are victorious, there are 3 rooms that are part of this area, 2 of which have regular doors, 1 of which is hidden behind a secret door. The 2 regular rooms are the chambers for the bodyguards as well as the king's bedroom. In the bodyguard chamber, you have a chest and some decent looking soft beds. Again, the bodyguard's key unlocks the chest. Inside are 2 woolen cloaks, a large sack with 120 gold, 60 electrum, and 200 silver. They were well paid for their work.
Yeah.
A pair of swords and a jeweled necklace worth 800 gold.
Ooh,
pretty nice.
We're eating well tonight.
You want to make sure your bodyguards stay loyal.
Yes, that's true. With all the other folks around.
In the king's bedroom, there is a large plush bed, a table, a wooden chair, and 2 soft armchairs. There are 3 woolen tapestries hanging on the walls. Although of shoddy craftsmanship, the tapestries are colorful and worth 50 gold each. They depict battle scenes in which hobgoblin exploits are prominently featured.
Interesting.
And
hobgoblin tapestries.
Yeah. And that's it for the bedroom of the king. which may cause some question like, hang on,
Yeah.
something ain't right.
Where's our big ass treasure? I
Right?
was expecting a big ass treasure. And I mean, we've got a lot of magic items, and the king had some magic items on him, so presumably, oh, I guess there's no treasure. Huh.
Well, there is a secret door in one corner of this room that leads to the treasure room.
Okay.
Turning a loose stone in the wall reveals a key socket. Thieves can pick the lock, but the king has the key on his belt. Inside this tiny room, there are 2 large chests. Each chest is trapped with a poison needle, activated if a thief picks the lock without removing the trap. If activated, save versus die poison again.
It's back.
Using the proper key opens the chests without activating the trap.
Nice.
The first chest contained coins of many different types, including 58 platinum, 230 gold, 170 electrum, 480 silver, and 1,290 copper. So a nice big mix of coins. They're all mixed in the chests in the single chest together. So it's like, oh, cool, lot of coins.
Right. Dump it all in your bag of holding and move on.
Bingo. The second chest contains 4 bottles of murky liquid, 3 bottles of potion of healing, and 1 bottle potion of invisibility, and a pearl necklace worth 1,000 gold pieces.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's some actual decent kingly loot.
Yeah, now we've got some loot. Now we're feeling good.
We're feeling good. We're feeling ourselves. We got all of our stuff. We're traipsing our way back out of the dungeon, and that's when the trap door swings open.
You're ready to go. You're triumphant. You've high-fived all of your friends, all of your old friends and your new friends. You're
Itchy
ready
and
to
Scratchy have like run ahead, and they're on the opposite side of the hallway waiting for you, tails wagging, and then you plummet through the floor.
Yep. Then you plummet through the floor.
Because they weren't enough to cause it to crack open. But 4 of your heavy asses was.
And if you're a good DM, you'll figure out some way to ensure that only the people who came with you on the boat make it down into the lair of the dragon. That way you end with what you started with.
After players fall through the trapdoor, they enter the second level of this dungeon. And this is a place that the hobgoblins have not been. It is wildly different from the level above. It is rough. It is unworked. We're in like the caverns here.
Right.
And this is an area that I would say probably feels a lot like where lava vents or lava tubes might have formed this big twisting spaghetti spiral stack of different tunnels, because these tunnels go above and below and wrap around each other, and depending on your party makeup, you may have a harder time navigating this than others. There are several notes at the very beginning of this level to very carefully explain how to referee this in old school rules, first edition rules, to deal with the different members of your party, what they know. Dwarves in particular get several call outs.
Sure.
Because they have the ability to detect things in passageways that could make some of this a little easier, but we're not here to make things easy. We're not here to give them just the map and let them make their way around.
We can't let all the dwarves just coast through here. You have to have some way to make it more complicated, a little more difficult for the superior race.
Jeremy,
the
known dwarven
race.
Supremacist.
That's right. Absolutely. I need a shirt that says dwarven supremacist. Would wear it proudly, because this predates rangers, right? There's no rangers. There's no unless you create a character that is very specifically like nature-y focus, that's not really the mechanics for that are a little squishier. So yeah, you're really basically relying on your dwarf, like your elves are, your pocket elf is your way of finding secret doors. Your pocket dwarf is your way of not getting lost in the caves.
So this is actually interesting. Rangers did exist in first edition.
Oh, really?
They were introduced in the Strategic Review Volume 1, Number 2. They were one of the standard character classes available in the original player's handbook, one of 5
Oh.
subclasses according to Wikipedia.
Okay, we're getting into subclasses, which I
Yep, they were a
super do
subtype
not
of the
understand.
fighter.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And honestly, Rangers should almost kind of be fighters again today. I feel like you should. Well, we won't get into my issues with the classes of the
Nah,
classes of
we're not
today.
gonna. We're talking
Let's-
about the racism, not the classism.
Yes,
here.
right. Let's stick with one.
Let's take one ism
ism
at a time. So one of the things, because kind of like we've joked about, your pocket elf to check for secret doors.
Right.
Well, your backpack dwarf or your little spoon dwarf, depending on your party's,
Sure.
particular makeup, they're there to help navigate the ways and passages underground, but they're not meant to be a one size fits all kind of magic solution. They're meant to be like, here's an additional tool and a scenario where you get to feel really helpful to the party, kind of like rangers if they didn't suck everywhere else except the one area that they're useful in.
That's true.
So some of the notes here about this area, we're not going to go through all of them, but just a tiny bit to get a sense of this. The map of this level is dungeon. The level is a mass of twisting and turning tunnels. Each has rough, rocky walls and a 10-foot high ceiling. They are clean of debris. Jeremy, want to guess why a dungeon might be clean of all debris?
Well,
Like, who's a dungeon janitor in our monster manual?
Is there a well, I mean, my initial thought is a gelatinous cube.
There is a gelatinous cube that makes its way through the dungeon.
And
they go way back.
I knew that. They're one of the originals. And at this point, if memory serves me correctly, they're used almost like sort of like a living trap, like we've seen before. They're very slow and they're mostly invisible, and so they expect you to just like run face first into them, and then they merrily slurp you up.
Oh yeah. And there is a art in this module of a gelatinous cube kind of reaching out to tenderly touch a fighter with an axe. And their entire insides are just full of what looks like coins or rocks or something that they picked up.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah,
we love love a classic dungeon monster gelatinous cube.
Exactly. So as a result, there's not the place is not dirty. It's generally swept up by the cube slurping through here. It says that many tunnels slope gradually up or down, crossing over or under other tunnels that the party is not aware of. There are lots of intersections on this map as a result of that, and the map key helps you note which tunnels are above and which tunnels are below.
We're in Z space. We've got X, Y, and Z space. Ooh, yeah, I can. If you're trying to make a map and your DM is like, how well do you know your geometry? The guy just ball it up and throw it away. Be like, we'll get where we're going when we get there, I guess.
We're turning back left. We're turning north. Wait a second. Hold on. We're crossing over. And then at some point, someone realizes, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Ah, crap.
They
go over and under each other. And then everyone turns and looks at the dwarf, and he's like, I don't know what to tell you. I've done my job. It says,
I was here the whole time.
Yeah. It says, if a dwarf wants to check for sloping passages, examine the party's location on the map. If the group is within 60 feet of an intersection where the tunnels go above and below each other, consult the map. Take that again. If the group is within 60 feet of intersections where the tunnels cross over and under each other, the dwarf will roll to see if their check succeeds for sloping passages. It's a roll that the dwarf makes.
Right.
And they consult the map again. If the players are on the under tunnel, the one that goes down, then you tell them the slope is down. If the passage is on top of the tunnel, the slope is up. There's a note, of course, if the tunnel the dwarf is in is not within 60 feet of an intersection, roll for them anyway, but the result is always no slope. So
we're talking about like helixing dungeons in a sense. Where they're not bit. It's not like, cause I was picturing like interstate overpasses, right?
No,
and we're not
talking
we're talking about like we're talking like ant farm shit.
Yes.
Like,
think speed
man.
Bumps. Yeah, they're kind of going above and over and under, and they kind of gently rise over or gently dip under.
Right. Wow. Oh yeah, I can't imagine. You're basically drawing a 2D map of a 3D room via telephone.
Oh yes. And looking at this, this is a tangle that Ma Bell would not want to untangle. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh God, no. This is a pretzel made in a spaghetti factory. There's a dozen or 15 intersections. And that's before you take into account there are 2 rooms here that are octagons that have 8 doors leading out of them, including the room that the players will first fall into. So let's dive in to this level of the dungeon, because we still have this level and another level to go.
Wow.
Before we meet the big red.
Right, the big dog.
Right. The dragon that we are aware of, canny characters may have clued into, but the module doesn't quite spell out until you reach that level of the dungeon.
Right. Probably not. I don't know that players have been given, like, at least not like definite dragon vibes. They may have had a couple of little clues, but I'd be surprised if anyone knew that the dragon was awaiting.
It would have to be a really kind of like series of lucky guesses, such as, okay, there's a lot of geothermal activity in the area. Dragons like hot places and caves. That's a combo. There's a lot of monsters that do well in these hot, wet, geothermal areas. That's the thing we got to think about. And then when a dragon comes up, you would hopefully think, yep, that totally makes sense. I personally will not be surprised if we come across like exposed lava vents in these tunnels down here, or exposed magma pools, because that just feels right for all the steam and all the other stuff that we've been getting. That's the end of part 2 of Horror on the Hill, but the Hobgoblin King is waiting, and the real horror is still a level deeper in part 3. As always, we have a new release every other Tuesday. If you hate cliffhangers and like your podcasts long and all at once, we offer this entire episode from start to finish uninterrupted over on our Patreon. Find out more at our home base, analogdungeon.com. If you enjoyed the episode, help us out with a like or 5 stars on your platform of choice. Do it for the War Dogs. They're good boys. We'll see you next time.